Good afternoon, everyone, distinguished guests and dignitaries of the dais and on the dais, my co-panelist and my professor also, Dr. Sandosh, Professor Sandosh Matthew and Professor Gobagamar sir for being our chair for the session. And first of all, I would like to thank my PhD supervisor, Professor Mohanan B. Pillai, for inviting me to deliver my key insights on blue economy and the Paradiplomacy framework to this wonderful Trivandrum dialogue on maritime affairs, the edition first. First of all, I would like to bring where I come from. I'm coming from the coastal town called Kodungalur. Coming from Kodungalur, historically known as Kerala's first port, which gives me a long civilizational perspective on the state's relationship with sea. While my roots lies there, my remarks today will focus on the Trivandrum's contemporary maritime development, particularly how the city is positioning itself within the blue economy and the green transition frameworks shaping Kerala's and maritime future. Moving on to the topic of today's discussion, paradiplomacy and coastal governance. Thiruvananthapuram's roles in advancing a secure blue economy and green maritime transition. In recent years, the coastal governance has emerged as one of the most critical arenas in which the global challenges such as climate change, maritime security, and sustainable development converge. Traditionally, these issues were addressed primarily through national and multilateral frameworks. However, there is a growing recognition that the subnational actors, cities, regions, and states play a decisive role in translating the global maritime and climate commitments into a concrete action. This has given renewed relevance to the concept of paradiplomacy, understood as the international engagement of subnational governments to advance economic, environmental, and strategic interest. So my presentation today examines the relevance of paradiplomacy in coastal governance through the case of Thiruvananthapuram, the capital of Kerala. It argues that Thiruvananthapuram is uniquely positioned to contribute to the advancement of a secure blue economy. In academically, it can be termed as urban blue, and to lead aspects of the green maritime transition in the Indian Ocean region. By leveraging its strategic geography, institutional capacity, and emerging port infrastructure, the city can evolve from a coastal administrator to a proactive maritime actor with a regional and global relevance. What is paradiplomacy and coastal governance? What is the conceptual linkages? Paradiplomacy refers to the formal and informal international activities undertaken by the subnational governments in pursuit of local or regional objectives. In the context of coastal governance, paradiplomacy has particular significance because many maritime activities such as ports, fisheries, coastal land use, disaster management, and marine conservation all fall within the subnational regulatory domains. At the same time, these activities are deeply embedded in global system of trade, climate governance, and maritime regulation. Coastal cities are often the first to experience the impacts of the sea level rise, coastal erosion, and extreme weather patterns, as well as the economic opportunities and vulnerabilities associated with the maritime trade. As a result, they are increasingly engaging in transnational networks, port alliances, the knowledge sharing platforms to address the shared challenges. So paradiplomacy thus serves as a mechanism through which local coastal governance can be aligned with international norms such as United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, International Maritime Organization regulations, and the global climate agreements. Blue economy, the concept of blue economy and the question of security. The blue economy is commonly understood as the sustainable use of ocean resources for the economic growth. improved livelihoods, and ecosystem health. While much of the discourses has focused on growth sectors such as ports, shipping, fisheries, and marine tourism, and the security dimensions of the blue economy is often underemphasized. A secure blue economy requires not only the economic viability but also maritime safety, environmental protection, and social stability in the coastal communities. Security in this context is multi-layered. It includes the resilience of supply chains, the protection of marine ecosystem from degradation, and the safeguarding of the livelihoods that depend upon the sea. Coastal governance plays a central role in balancing these dimensions, and paradiplomatic engagement enables cities to learn from international experiences, access to the technological expertise, and coordinate the responses to the transboundary maritime risk. Thiruvananthapuram's strategic coastal position, when you look into that aspect, Thiruvananthapuram occupies a strategically significant position along India's southwestern coast, in close proximity to the major sea lines of communication in Indian Ocean. This geographical location has historically shaped the region's maritime interactions and continues to define its contemporary relevance. As the administrative capital of Kerala, Thiruvananthapuram combines political authority with responsibility for coastal management and development. The city also benefits from a strong institutional ecosystem, including research and technology institutions, a skilled workforce, and a governance culture that emphasize the decentralization and community participation. These factors enhance its capacity to engage in the complex policy areas such as maritime governance, climate adaptation, and sustainable development. So, in this sense, Thiruvananthapuram is not merely a coastal city, but a governance hub with the potential to influence maritime policy beyond its immediate territorial boundaries. When it comes to the Vizhinjam port and the port-led blue economy development, the development of Vizhinjam International Seaport marks a significant milestone in Thiruvananthapuram's maritime trajectory. As a deep water transshipment port located close to the international shipping routes, Vizhinjam has the potential to reduce India's dependence on foreign transshipment hubs and to enhance the efficiency of regional supply chains. Its strategic importance extends beyond economic consideration to include maritime security and logistical resilience. From a blue economy perspective, Vizhinjam presents opportunities for port-led development that can stimulate supportive maritime industries such as logistics, ship repair, maritime services, and coastal entrepreneurship. We had a nice case study presentation given by Dr. Divya S. Iyer IS yesterday. She has brought out a lot of things which is happening in the Vizhinjam International Seaport when it comes to the logistics and the shipping. The things which I just discussed about the coastal entrepreneurship. She also talks about the maritime services, the ship repairment. However, the long-term success of such development depends upon the governance choices. Integrating environmental safeguards, community interest, and international best practices into the port operations will be critical to ensuring that economic gains do not come at the cost of the ecological degradation or social displacement. When you look at the paradiplomacy through the port and maritime networks, ports are natural nodes of paradiplomatic engagement. Through the port-to-port cooperation or city-to-city diplomacy, participation in international port associations, and collaborations on standards and technologies, coastal cities can directly engage with the global maritime governance processes. Thiruvananthapuram, through Vizhinjam, can position itself within such networks to exchange the knowledge on port efficiency, digitalization, and emission reduction. Engagements with other Indian ocean ports can also facilitate cooperation on shared challenges such as maritime safety, pollution control, and emergency response. Such interactions strengthen regional maritime governance while reinforcing the city's role as a responsible and forward looking coastal actor. Some of the avenues we have it for Vizhinjam port when it comes to the paradiplomacy. When we look through the paradiplomacy framework, there are port-to-port alliances. This is tuning alliances, establishing a partnership with international container hubs, for example, Colombo, Singapore, and Jebel Ali, for operational expertise. These are the best practices in automation and direct cargo services. And there is a blue economy and marine partnership, engaging with the maritime focused states or regions like Mauritius or ASEAN countries for developing the sustainable fishery berths, marine tourism, or aquaculture technology. When it comes to the logistic and industrial collaboration, leveraging the international partnership to develop a planned free trade warehousing zone and attracting the global players in the ship repair or bunkering services. When it comes to the regional cooperation, collaboration with the regional maritime policing units to enhance the security protocols, which enhances the port's reliability for the global shipping lines. When it comes to the investment promotion, hosting or participating in international maritime conferences to showcase the 24-mile natural depth advantage, fostering the direct investment from the foreign companies. These initiatives would allow Kerala's state governments to strengthen Vizhinjam's role as a major maritime node under the broader Indian National Maritime Foundation Sagar framework. When it comes to the green maritime transition, the maritime sector is undergoing a profound transformation driven by the imperative to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions and environmental impacts. International regulations and market pressure are pushing ports and shipping companies towards cleaner fuels, energy efficient operations, and digital system. This green maritime transition presents both challenges and opportunities for the coastal cities. Here, Thiruvananthapuram can contribute to this transition by promoting the renewable energy use in port operations, supporting the shore side electrification, and encouraging the sustainable coastal transport solution. Paradiplomatic engagement allows the city to align this initiative with the global frameworks and to access the technical and financial resources necessary for its implementation. When it comes to the coastal governance and as a climate adaptation, for Thiruvananthapuram, coastal governance is inseparable from the climate adaptation. The city and its surrounding coastal areas are highly vulnerable to the sea level rise, erosion, and extreme weather patterns that threaten the infrastructure, ecosystem, and livelihoods. Addressing these issues requires integrated coastal zone management that combines the scientific knowledge, policy coordination, and community participation. There comes the importance of the paradiplomacy framework. Nature-based solutions such as mangrove restoration and coastal buffers offer the pathways to enhance the resilience while preserving the ecological integrity. By engaging in international knowledge exchange and climate adaptation networks, Thiruvananthapuram can both learn and contribute to the global best practices in the coastal resilience. Before moving on to the conclusion, I would like to bring some of the important institutional support we have when it comes to the paradiplomacy framework. As you all know that India is a highly top-down hierarchical India is having a top-down hierarchical administrative structure, though the creation of the state division in the Ministry of External Affairs and the National Sagarmala Apex Committee has provided the formal framework for this paradiplomacy framework for the maritime operations. I think the Sagarmala model, the Sagarmala project initiatives highly influenced by the paradiplomacy framework. Moving on to the conclusion, Thiruvananthapuram stands at a critical point in its coastal and maritime development. The convergence of strategic geography, emerging port infrastructure, and institutional capacity creates the opportunities for the city to play a more active role in regional and global maritime governance. Paradiplomacy provides a framework through which Thiruvananthapuram can translate the local priorities into the international engagement, advancing a blue economy that is not only economically vibrant but also secure and environmentally sustainable. By embracing its role as a coastal leader, Thiruvananthapuram can move beyond managing the impacts of maritime change to shaping the direction of the green maritime transition in the Indian Ocean region. In doing so, it can demonstrate how coastal cities, through effective governance and international collaboration, can contribute meaningfully to a global ocean sustainability. Thank you.